Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here for week 8, answering your start sit questions, getting you guys ready because, again, all these injuries continue to pile up. Only chances now. Gotta go. If you guys have your questions, get them sent, and I will start answering them as quickly as I can. All right, starting off with Sterl W. RJ Harvey or Fannin Jr. in the flex. Really kind of depends on what you need here. Fannin's going to be just fine when it comes to PPR. I like the idea of Harvey because that Dallas defense is just decimated, and they could easily move it on to using Harvey more if they do get up. My worry is that Knicks continues to struggle or isn't as fluent as he should be, and that always causes a big issue for me when it comes to playing those individuals. So I'd much rather play Harvey just because we're still not sure. Josue, welcome back. With Drake London out, do I drop either Kincaid or Schultz to pick up Mooney, or just play both tight ends? In PPR, I might drop Kincaid for him, or Schultz for him, but I can't bring myself to do that. The last time they played, Drake London had a massive game, but Bijan was really the one who I think he put up 200 all-purpose yards that game. So he was able to run and catch passes for over 100 yards each, which is insane. Makes me definitely want to stay a little more away from it. So fine running Schultz and Mooney in PPR. Otherwise, I just don't like the idea of dropping Kincaid because I do think he has value. However, at this point, if that's your best drop, that's kind of where I'd lean. All right, C-Plank. Mooney or Shakir. It's half. I'm still going to lean Mooney here. Again, the target should be there. Shakir, I'm more iffy on. It's really switching back and forth between him and Coleman. So definitely don't love that. That dude, what's up? Badgley or Pinheiro? Probably going to go Pinheiro this week. Again, when it comes to the pace of play, they're kind of moving the ball a little better right now. Josh, Mooney or Shakir. Again, it's full PPR. We're going Mooney. Shakir is just back and forth. I can't trust it. All right. Trabad. Let's see. Mooney, Marks, DJ Moore, Shaheed need 2. You're definitely playing Mooney, and then it becomes interesting. I think I would go with... It's really close. I think I go Shaheed here, just because I think they're going to have to put up the point, and so I'm very curious to see how that works out. Moore is fine, but he's just not breaking anything big. It's still going to Dunte, and now that Komet's out, I actually think Loveland gets a boost. So, and then Marks is just so hit or miss, still splitting with Chubb. Jack, McCullough, good morning. Pollard, Algier, Mooney, non-PPR. Non-PPR, I actually go Algier. He scored every time he's been home except for once. And the last time he put like 60 yards up and scored when they played. So I think it's pretty solid for roll him out this week. Scott, good morning. Downs, Bourne, Shepard, Noel, Pierce, need 1. PPR, I'm still going to lean Bourne here. I like the idea of Shepard, but I'm just nervous that they're going to try and figure. Well, again, the Eagles aren't sure what's going on. I think I like Shepard the most for the upside, but all of these are kind of hit or miss. The next closest is probably going to be Bourne, but with it being tight ends week, I really think that Kittle sees those targets, which makes me a little more nervous on him. And then when you're looking at Downs, the same issue kind of pops up with the Colts. They just don't have or will need to use him a whole lot. The last time they did, it was actually Pittman who, and even he just barely got enough points to be usable that week. All right. J.D. Heron. Okay. Let's see if we can't get your QB sorted out here. Cousins, rather even Fields. I'm going to go Cousins there. I understand not having London scares you, but Mooney's just fine. They still have Pitt. They still have Bijan. And the last time that these two teams played, Penix threw for 256 yards and a touchdown. Well, of course, it was kind of hindered because of the fact that Bijan went for 200 purpose yards, so always struggles there. Leaping Rabbit, good morning. 2 questions. Let's see. Caleb Williams or Jordan Love? I'm going to go Jordan Love there. Did I start any Texans wide receiver over Sterling Shepard? PPR, it makes it interesting, but the issue is we aren't sure who it's going to be. It should be Higgins. But since we don't know, I'd much rather start Shepard, which is kind of a known commodity in a game that they're going to have to throw. And you've seen what Dart can do. It's hard not to trust him at this point. Scott, good morning. Need one. Njoku, Schultz, Mason, Taylor. I'm going to go Schultz this week. Again, talked about pass catching options that we trust. That's the one thing for the Texans that I trust this week in any kind of PPR. So, Chad Corey, good morning. Mayor Dart. I'm still rolling Dart here. It's really close. I actually think I might have them back to back. I do. I have Dart at 6 and May at 7 and May at 8. So they're right there. It just comes down to the fact that Dart is just playing too well right now. All right, D-Man, with London out, Cousins, Huntley, or Dalton, it's going to be Cousins. I just don't trust the other options. Huntley should be okay. Dalton is a turnover machine because he's not scared to throw it to anybody, and usually hyper-focuses on one target, so makes it a little bit more difficult to trust him. So go and roll out Cousins in an easier matchup, too. Sam, good morning, Mooney or Golden. PPR, I'm still going to go Mooney, especially with Watson back. That just muddies up the Green Bay wide receiver room even more. And then Njoku or Ingram, that becomes interesting. I think I'm going to go Njoku. Again, trusting Ingram makes me nervous because it's Broncos, and I don't know what that team's actually going to do or what their plans are. It's frustrating every week. If you are managing Sutton, you understand that completely. Christopher, good morning. Packers or Steelers D? Probably going to the Packers just because it's a little bit better defense. I know that the Steelers looked pretty good last week, but trusting that, I mean, you saw what Flacco was able to do, and that's just tough to trust, unfortunately. Scott, PPR Flex, Marks or Shaheed. Again, it really depends on what you need. Marks is a much safer floor, but the upside there is for Shaheed because they're going to be chasing points. So Rattler's going to have to throw it, which they are pretty much every week, and Shaheed's been putting up solid numbers for you, especially in PPR. C-Plank, Mooney, or Franklin. It's going to be Mooney. Trusting the second wide receiver is tough in Denver right now. I would say it is Franklin leading, but it goes back and forth with him and Mims with who scores the touchdown. And while I do think it will be Franklin, I'd much rather go with the guy I know is going to see more targets in Mooney. Will Rich, good morning. Kincaid, Johnson. Kind of depends. I'm still nervous. Kincaid, they think is going to play. I would probably play him. The next one would be Theo. I like Jawan, but he's getting better. We've seen that his uptick come back, but in targets, it's still a struggle. All right, Leaping Rabbit, should I start Christian Watson over Dobbs? No, I'm not trusting. Okay, when it comes to Green Bay wide receivers, the only person who plays every snap is Dobbs right now. When it comes to the wide receiver core, so while Watson might be a flash, I don't trust it. So much rather not worry about that. D-Man, May or Knicks? I got May higher, so rolling with May. Tony, good morning. Dowdle Chase or Judkins? I'm guessing that's Chase Brown. Since it's full PPR, I'm going to go Chase Brown. He's the one who's actually catching a decent amount of passes. Also trust Drake or go to Rodgers. I have Drake higher still. I do have Rodgers in the top 12, though, so makes it a plus. Will Rich, need one. Pacheco, Jennings, Debo, McLaurin. Looking at those, I'm probably going to go with Debo. It's really close with Jennings, but again, like I touched on, it's tight ends week, and Kittle usually dominates this week. So Andrews or Fannin and Standard, it's Fannin. Not even close. And then same thing, Tez or Mooney. At that point, you're looking for a touchdown. I'd much rather trust Tez there. If it's PPR, it'd definitely be Mooney, but I'm more worried about the yardage, and Tez is the one who's kind of exploding right now. So, Jeff Horn, good morning. What's up? Harold Fannin Jr. or Dalton Schultz with Njoku back. I'm going to go with Schultz. Also love that they don't have a whole lot of other options out there. So, Bradley, good morning. Sutton or Olave? I'm going to go Olave. I trust it a little more. I understand that Sutton has a good matchup, but it's tough out there. And then you're looking for tight end. It's going to be Schultz. We talked about it on Wednesday. It's really close with Otten, though, surprisingly. But I just trust Schultz a little more. If you want to play it safer, I understand going Otten because Baker needs somebody to throw to, and Otten should be that safety valve for him. Trey, Mariota or Cousins. Again, kind of depends on what you need. I currently have them back-to-back with Cousins having the easier matchup. So I have Cousins slightly over Mariota. Like, literally, they're back-to-back at, where's that? 16-17. Will Rich, Dak or Danny Dimes. I have Dak higher. Again, I'm worried that Jones is going to be able to run the ball too much, and so this is a John Taylor game written all over it. Tony Dobson, good morning. Adunze, Metcalf, Pickens, C2. It's going to be DK and Pickens. Too much upside there. Xavier, welcome back. Schultz or Fanning? It's Schultz. Frank Rod, good morning. Yet, Ted McMillan without Bryce or Romeo Dobbs with Christian. If it's PPR, I'm going to go McMillan because I trust that offense a little more. I do. Otherwise, if it's standard, I'm going to guess Dobbs is more likely to score still. So, Christopher, Debo Shepard, Shakir, bench one. Of them, I'm probably going to bench Shakir. Too much strength right now for Buffalo. Daniel, good morning. Need to drop one so you can set your lineup. Of them, it's probably going to be B-Rob. I know you hate me saying that, but it's just too risky. The next one would probably be Ertz because everybody's back and healthy. So if you don't want to drop Brian Robinson, I'd go to Ertz. Tamara, good morning. Non-guy, Golden, or Conquo. Ooh. PPR. I just don't like playing the secondary options. I would go Golden. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's brutal. Just because the upside's there, and this could be a higher scoring game. So hoping for the best there. Farley, yeah, I know. Again, talked about the O-line. That's the reason we come here. We'll got to watch this show for that reason. Mooney or Troy Franklin? Still going to go Mooney. I just trust him with the targets a little more, unfortunately. Nix is not something I'm willing to trust as a quarterback currently. C. Plank, morning. Ingram or Henry? Going to go Henry because I expect them to have to throw a little more. I know the potential for a shootout between Broncos and Dallas is a thing, but I'm really nervous after the Broncos struggled against Dart that they want to prove a point and just try and shut down Dallas the best they can, and that makes me super nervous for Dak and literally any other player. And if they do that, I don't think they'll need to use Ingram. So, Will Rich, Texans or Eagles? I actually have to look. I think I have the Eagles higher, but yep, Eagles by one spot. Tony, good morning. Spears, Manon guy. Woof. I'm going to go Manon guy. Spears looks like he's dealing with an injury already again, so don't like that. Leaping Rabbit, another league. Calvin Austin or Sterling Shepard. Again, kind of depends on what you're looking for. Austin has a lot more upside. When he's been playing, he's either scored a touchdown or double digits in, I think it was 3 of the 4 games. He only had one game that he didn't score or hit double digits. So in that game, he put up a 3. And it was one of the ones I won because it was a dominant play, but I don't think that's going to happen this week. Frank Rod, pick 2. Pollard, Dowdle, Manon guy from the Bears. I know I'm probably going to go with... Nope, I can't trust it. I'm going to go Pollard and Dowdle with the people I know are going to touch the ball a significant amount. I like the idea of Manon guy, but that one game isn't going to be enough for me to make that switch yet. RBSD, Mason Taylor or Pitts? No. I guess Pitts, but I don't like either of these players this week. Tamara, Mariota over Tua. Yeah, probably. Again, just terrified of Tua. Glitchy. I wouldn't say it's so much easier, but yeah, it is definitely easier. Xavier. Hubbard or Pacheco? That's tough. I think I'm still going to go Pacheco because I trust that he actually has a majority that the carries back there. Hubbard, I think they give him the run again, but it's really just due to the fact that they paid him for it. So I can't trust that, especially with Dalton. I'm just not sure. He should. He should have a decent job, Glitchy. Flacco, Fields, or Cousins. I'm probably going to roll out. That's a good one. I think I have Cousins the highest. Nope, I have Flacco the highest, so I'm going to go Flacco by 3 spots. Frank Rod, go Ferguson or Dobbs or Flowers. Tight end, much rather go Ferguson. I think he gives you the safest floor, but if you're looking for the upside, Dobbs is most likely to score. So, while I do think Ferguson has a big day, really depends on what you're looking for, because inconsistency definitely going to be there this week. Ryan, Harvey, or Mungai. At that point, I'm going to go Harvey, Franklin, or T. Johnson. I'm guessing that's Tez. If that's Tez, I'm going to roll him out. Again, don't want you to weigh down too much with Broncos just in case. Tony Dobson, Caleb, or Dak? I still have Dak higher. That dude named Billy. Am I starting? No, I agree with this. I have Flacco higher by 2 spots. It's just the fact that the last time they played, granted, I talked about it on Wednesday, Daniel Jones scored 15.8 fantasy points. They won the game by a significant margin. I just expect that to happen again. Meanwhile, Flacco, they are going to have to throw because their defense isn't as good. I do expect them to play just fine because of the Jets, but you're really looking into a spot. Tier. All right. Njoku or Fannin? That is the $1 million question. I would actually go Njoku. Based on everything that we have and the fact that he's healthy, he was one seeing more targets the last time when they were both healthy. So go and lean back that way. Daniel Ferguson. Okay, that's a tough one. I actually have to look at rankings for this. PPR makes me want to lean Warren, but I'm not sure if I have him higher than Judkins. And, of course, I have them back-to-back. I have Judkins higher just because I trust that he actually handles the majority of that job. So, barely, but really a coin flip. That's a really good one. All right, Everhurt. Let's see. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. But I understand why based on your other picks. Dowdle, Mooney. If it's PPR, I think the upside goes to Mooney here. The other ones are just not good enough to make me want to roll with it. Rob Moe, Swift, or Bill? I have Swift higher. I am nervous, though, because the Ravens' defense looks like they're actually back healthy. So that game's going to be interesting. Definitely something to watch. All right, Daniel. Let's see here. Jalen Warren, Judkins, or Dobbins? Definitely playing Dobbins. And then, again, we're going to go with Judkins, barely. See, playing Scary, Sutton, Higgins. It's definitely Higgins. And I think I'm going to go Sutton just because I'm still not sure if I believe in Scary Terry, especially without Jaden Daniels. It's too iffy for me. PTFU, need to start one guy in the flex. Franklin, Downs, Tez. Yeah. Since you're not really wanting to play Tez, I think that offers the most upside. I think then I actually will pivot to Franklin, just because theoretically, if that game is higher scoring, he would be the one to see the next targets behind Sutton. So, Brian G, Tez or DJ Moore. At that point, you're looking at upside again, and I'm still going to trust Tez more. Just trust that quarterback a little more, unfortunately. All right. Daniel, let's see. Swap Mooney, Shakir. Nope, I'd still stick with Mooney. TF, with London out now, choose Kittle. It's Kittle. That's the easy one. Farley, okay, last one. Mooney or Pittman? Pittman. I know that Downs is back, but, man, it's difficult to get away from Pittman. I think he's going to be the one who scores of the pass-catching options for the Colts. I like Mooney. It should be, again, that they're able to, again, run it, and the fact that they don't have Penix running or as their quarterback makes me a little more nervous. So I'd much rather go with the thing I know in Pittman. I do believe in Mooney. He's been just fine. He sees a lot of targets, but it makes me very nervous on him. Jerome, how's it going? Stevenson or Juwan Jennings? Again, it depends on if you're chasing upside. Stevenson's definitely going to be the safer play, but I want the upside of Jennings this week because that 49er defense is busted right now. They have way too many people injured, so much rather roll with the thing I know. All right, Evan, let's see. Wide receiver and a flex, okay? In full PPR, I'm going to go Mooney and Kamara. I like the idea of Diggs, but again, talk about something that's inconsistent. I'd rather go with something consistent this week in those two players. Max Jacobs, Flacco or Rodgers. That's a good one. I feel like I have them right next to each other. Let me double check. I have, Flacco at 13 and Rodgers at 12. So Rodgers just barely. Understand that question, though. All right, Jerome. Henry or Fannin? I just wish they would give Henry the job. That is really what it comes down to. If he was the full-time tight end for the Patriots, you'd be set. But since he's not, it's difficult for me to trust it, so I'm going to roll Fannin on a team that has to throw more. All right, Will. Slayton or Austin? It's half point. You're more likely to get the big play from Slayton, so I'd roll that way. You're welcome. Happy to help. Oh, my gosh. Of course. Why do you always have to come in and make my day tough? Okay. Who am I looking at? Cedric Gray. Demario Davis. Who's Demario playing? Saints. It's close between those two. And then David. All right. I'm going to go Demario this week. Just think the Saints are going to have to get a lot more tackles, and I think that benefits them quite a bit. All right, Scott. PPR Marks, Ramondre. Yeah. Let me see. So I currently have Marks at. I still think I'm going to go Stevenson. Man, where do I have Stevenson? Okay. Yeah, I have Marks ahead because of the fact that 49ers defense is beat up. So rolling it out, I'm also nervous that Stevenson is going against the Browns, who have actually been really good on defense. So also part of the reason I've downgraded all of my Saints except for May. Will Rich, which even he has a little bit of a bounce. All right, C. Brown or Pacheco, it's half point. I think at that point I'm going to go Pacheco. Looking at the two, I just trust Pacheco to score more. I understand now that Hunt's back makes me a little more nervous on it, but he keeps getting beat up in the last two games. He's left early due to injury. All right, Rob Mo, Flacco, Cousins, Love, or Rodgers, all in the kind of the same area. I'm pretty sure I have Rodgers the highest, but I'm not sure if he's above Love. Yep, I have Rodgers the highest. David Patrick, how's it going? So you need to start two of DJ Moore, Fannin, and Jennings. I'm going to go with my wide receivers there. Yeah, I understand wanting to play Fannin, but again, with Njoku back, it's more risky. If you wanted to find a tight end on the waiver wire, I would go Schultz. That would be somebody I'd play over DJ Moore this week. All right, Max Jacobs. Let's see. Flacco, Rodgers, or Fields. Oh, my. It's Rodgers. London out, Calvin Austin, or, again, this will be dependent on if it's PPR. If it's PPR, it's Schultz. Otherwise, you're taking the upside and expecting Austin to score. RPC 909, Schultz or Flowers. Again, because I think the defense is healthy, I'm going to go Schultz. You're welcome. Good luck, BTFU. Sven, what's up? Mooney with London out, Scary Terry. Again, we haven't seen Terry do a whole lot, so I'm going to roll with Mooney. Bengals or Pitts D? I'm going Bengals. It was my stream of the week. I really like the play. Had a massive boost this past game, and with Flacco, it looks like a completely different defense, and that was without Hendrickson. So, all right, Max. Algier or Otten? It's PPR. I've got to go Otten. I do expect Algier to score, but Otten in PPR with all the other options out, definitely more intriguing. All right. Theo Johnson or Henry? Theo. Scott Cash, Marks or Ramondre? You're all good. It's going to be Marks. Because I agree. I do hate Ramondre's matchup. Okay, need two. Pacheco, Mooney, Marks, McLaurin. It's going to be Mooney and Pacheco. It's close with Marks, but I still have Pacheco higher. Xavier, pick up Schultz. I need to drop Barner. Yes. I'm fine dropping Barner. Especially with the injuries that keep piling up. So, good luck. Okay, State Grad, you're welcome. Tamara, Bears or Browns? Ugh. I have to come in with the tough questions. Why do you have to hit me like that? It's just so rude. I have the Browns higher. So, rolling Browns. Whoops. All right, Daniel. PPR, Dowdle, Shakir, JCM, Pollard. I think at that point I'm going Dowdle, but I don't like any of that. All right, Jacob. White or Javonte? It's PPR, and I'm going White. Daniel, Erter, Njoku. Going back to Njoku, especially with all of the work that the Browns are going to have to do, and the fact that all of the Commanders are seen to be healthy, except for, of course, Jane Daniels. Dave Patrick, happy to help. You're welcome. All of mine will be PPR. Thank you. Appreciate that, Daniel. The way it should be, but I hate making that assumption because it makes me look rude. All right. All of mine will be PPR, Diggs, Debo, or Downs. I'm probably going to go Debo still. Oh, so I'm picking two. Then I go Debo, and it becomes if you want the upside or not. If you're going upside, it's going to be worthy. Otherwise, I'm playing Diggs. Well, let's see. Shaheed, Spears, Juwan. Man, that's tough. I think Juwan gives you the safest floor, but I think I want to chase the upside with Shaheed this week. RPSD, need two. Tet, Dobbs, Wandale, or Waddle? Man, that's a tough one. I think I'm going with the two W's. I'm going Wandale and Waddle. PPR, I like them the most this week. Oh, and I caught up. Yes. That's what's up. You're welcome. Happy to help. Whew. Man, guys, we're having me work really hard. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. We have a full length of shows that we do every week. Also, if you are looking for trade help, roster resolutions are available at the website. You can join the Discord and get the trade help in there. It's a lot better than what's going on in Bleacher Nation or Fantasy Life now. That has just I couldn't even log in for half the day, so I lost probably an hour worth of answering you guys' questions. So sorry about that. All right, C-Plank. DK, Slayton, Shepard, or Noel to pick one. Going to actually have to look at my rankings for this. I think it's going to be Shepard, but DK and Noel. I lied. It's Slayton by 2 spots. My bad. I like the upside just a little bit. So, rolling with Slayton there. All right, let's see. Austin, Tez, Ertz, start 1. Again, really depends. I don't like Ertz with everybody back. It makes me less confident in it. So at that point, I like the upside for Tez the most, with Calvin Austin being a close second. I understand if you want to go Austin, because, again, I have Tez at 25 and Austin. Whoops. Why isn't it popping up? I have Austin at 30. So you're, again, looking at 5 spots, and it's iffy. This is a weird week when you're looking at players. Is Pearsall droppable? I do think he is coming back soon, so if you can hold on to him, I would. But, again, I'm going to let some of the secrets out. So the roster resolutions we've been doing every weekend. We've done 2 to 3 every weekend. We are actually telling people to sell Pearsall because I think right now he's getting close to coming back, and it's a great move for you to help boost your team. You can usually stable it to another running back and upgrade at one of the positions that you need help at. So I really like doing that, but that would be how I deal with it if you're wanting to get rid of him, because I guarantee you drop him, somebody will pick him up. So, need someone with London out, Mooney, Wandale, or Bill. At that point, I'm going back to Wandale. I like Mooney enough, but Wandale is Dart's Huckleberry, and we're sticking with it. Dart continues to do what he needs to win, and Wandale just happens to be one of the beneficiaries of that. Also part of the reason I guess I have Slayton higher. So, Rob Moe, what's up? Waddle, McLaurin, Moore. I'm assuming that's DJ Moore. So of them, I'm still going to go Waddle. I know it's terrifying. It terrifies me. If you don't want to play that, I'd go DJ Moore next. Again, I have to see something from Terry. This year has not been his year. It's really made me nervous for him. So looking at his highest score was a 7.4. Well, I guess that's standard. Let me switch this to PPR. But I don't think it gets much better, unfortunately. Okay, he hit double digits before he got hurt at 10.4. So, and he's been off for 4 weeks. It makes me super nervous trying to roll him out. Meanwhile, Debo has been dealing with injury, but he also has been playing more and is kind of the one that Mario looked to. So, much rather trust that. All right. Half PPR, Will, Flowers, or Dunze. Still going to go Dunze. And then Kelsey, Dowd, or Hubbard. Don't love any of them. I think I'm going to go Hubbard, but man, I really don't. Picking a Panthers running back right now is tough because Panthers are invested in Hubbard. They gave him the deal. Dowdle is on a 1-year deal. So it's very iffy. I like what I've seen from Dowdle. He's been the more explosive back. He's had bigger plays. He is getting better yards per carry. All the factors lean into me trusting in Dowdle. I'm just nervous that the front office and the coaches don't want to feel stupid and play Hubbard and not play Hubbard, who they've paid. So, makes it tough. All right, good luck. You're welcome. Happy to help. Yeah, yo, mama, just in time. Saving my bacon. I was almost out of questions. Fannin or Kincaid? I wish I knew Kincaid was healthy. Like, that's the one thing holding him back. Meanwhile, Fannin is also being dragged down by the fact that Njoku's likely back. And so with that, I have Kincaid higher currently. If it doesn't say he's going to play, I will drop him pretty quick. But it does look like he is going to, and because of that, I have him at my tight end 6. So, makes me a little more nervous on it. All right. If you guys have questions, please ask them. Happy to get them answered. Again, if you're looking for streaming tight end, I'm looking at Loveland with Komet out. Really like that. Jawan Johnson should be another one. Theo Johnson. And then you get into the wasteland that I don't want to mess with. I'm sure the next option would potentially be looking at a tight end from Pittsburgh. Of them, I would probably lean Darnell Washington, as he's been the one more frequently to see double-digit or see the most targets. Then I'd probably go Freiermuth, but just because of his big playability. So, really depends on what you're looking for when it comes to streaming tight end. As for a quarterback, sorry guys, I need to get a drink. As for quarterback, you're looking at a lot of people now that just due to circumstances, I'm going to roll out. Like QB2s that I have listed include Flacco, who's probably been 2 picked up. Kirk Cousins, Marcus Mariota are the next 2 that I would be looking at, but all of them I have, like I said, as a quarterback 2. So not something you're willing to stream unless you absolutely have to, or in Superflex League. All right, well, got to drop someone to get a QB. Hubbard, Dobbins, Jennings, Hampton. That's tough. since you don't have an IR spot and you need to drop somebody, yeah, I'm probably fine dropping Hampton. But you might not. You have to be okay with not getting that back. The next person I'd probably actually end up dropping would be Jennings, because I do think Pierce will return sooner than later. And then Hubbards are just too valuable. Or Hubbards. Running backs are just too valuable. So while I would like to drop Hubbard, it's just so difficult with what's going on currently. All right, Tamara. Mims, Dobbs, and Njoku, Andrews, pick 2. I'm probably going to go Dobbs and Njoku because I think those are the safe plays. If you're really down low and you're chasing upside, I'd then go Dobbs and Mims, because I think those offer the most upside for you, give you the highest ceiling, but Mims' floor is literally a 0. G-turn, made it in time. Swifter born. Woof. Dobbins. Oh, okay. I just saw the last part of that. Flowers, Dobbins, Swift are born. I'm probably going to go Dobbins because I think that's the safest play. But if you're Chase wanting the upside, I think at that point I actually go Bourne. But it's really close with Flowers. Flowers is, again, right in the middle. I still trust Dobbins just a little bit more, though. Joseph, how's it going? Devontae Smith, Wan'Dale Robinson, picking 2. I'm picking Robinson and Smith. A.J. Brown's out. Smith has to do something. And the fact that Eagles have to show out because Giants put belt to A the last time they played, and 34-17. I don't think the Eagles like that. So I would expect them to throw more and be a lot more aggressive this game because they have to. All right, Everhart. Let's see. Drop 1. Trey Tucker, Brian Robinson, or Malik Washington. It's probably going to be... At that point, I'm probably going to drop Trey Tucker because, again, Myers and Bowers are back. It really just drops his target share down way too much. RPSD, Judkins, Pacheco, Hubbard. Go ahead, Judkins. Daniel, Kraft, or Kincaid. I think I have Kraft literally one. They're back-to-back between Kraft and Kincaid, so I'm going to go Kraft. Barely. Fine with either, though. Anthony, DJ Moore, or Booty. Really, again, you're depending on what you need. I like Booty because he's running a lot of routes. He just isn't seeing a whole lot of targets. And it's really sporadic for him. It's not something consistent. So I like that for the upside. Meanwhile, Moore, we just haven't seen him do nearly as much as we have seen with Booty. Let me double check. Booty is 29 and Moore is 49. So Booty at least has had big weeks. So I'd much rather trust that than believe DJ Moore is suddenly going to do something. All right, Daniel, Franklin, DJ Moore, Shepard, or Washington. I'm probably going to go Shepard just because they're going to have to throw and there's not a whole lot of other options. I wish I could trust Washington more. But, again, I've been watching him. He's been fine. Like, he's been somewhat decent. He's had 2 double-digit weeks. But, and I understand, but Shepard still is at least being consistent around that 7-point mark. Moore's, again, on that struggle bus. But he's right at that same kind of 8-point range. But Franklin has the big weeks, which is boosting him a little more. I still think if you're wanting the upside, it's probably going to be Franklin. If you're wanting something more stable, it's probably Shepard this week, but don't like any of it. All right, well, let's see. Rodgers, Flacco, Mariota, Tua, Rattler, or Mac Jones only need for this week. Of them, I'm pretty sure it's Flacco. Rodgers the highest. Yep, it's going to be Rodgers. Good morning, John. Options are I.M. Manor, Noel, Higgins, DK, Slayton, Leggett. Oh, man, that's a lot. Okay. If you're wanting to play it safe, it's going to be Booty. Of these, he's the most consistent, surprisingly. It's not great, but he is scoring the most points. He's really, however, because I think Andy Dalton is for sure the starter. I like Leggett a lot. He has the rapport with him from last year. He was the only. I mean, this past week you saw it again. He scored. So if you're wanting something somewhat consistent, it will be Leggett, but there is risk with it because Tet wasn't there last year, and now Dalton has a full week as likely practicing the QB1 for and getting that use of being with Tet. So those are the two I'd be between just because I think the consistency is there. But oh. All right. Oh, and Walter, Mooney or JCM half point. I still have Mooney higher. So makes it easy. All right, let's see. I'm trying to look at other streamers for you guys. If you're looking for, I mean, we've kind of touched on a lot of them. Oh, how's it going, Rob? Been doing all right. Half EPR, Mark, and don't like Mark. Again, this will be dependent on what you want. Algier's probably going to get you 6+, but Tez has the most upside with his big playability and ability to score. I mean, he could easily put up a 12 for you, but the risk is also that he doesn't. I mean, he could easily get a 0 because we don't know who Baker's going to go to. I like Tez for the upside, but Algier is definitely – he scored at home pretty much every game except for one. And in that one that he missed, he got 60 yards. So minimum, you're going to get a 6 from him. All right, Will. Dobbins or Judkins. I do have Dobbins higher this week. So, all right. So we talked about quarterback. We talked about tight end. We're getting rid of the onesies. I told you on Monday that Bengals was really high for me. They're currently at my defense 7. I have Bucks high 2 because they're playing the Saints, and they're getting healthy. The Bucks defense is. The next one up for a potential streamer would be the Texans, but it's really risky because 49ers can move the ball, but Texans like to control the pace of play. All right, Arfan, let's see. Schultz or Kincaid? PPR, it's going to be Schultz, but completely understand you want to play Kincaid. One Isabel, Gainwell or Hunt. Just because Hunt keeps getting injured, I'm going to go Gainwell here. Hunt usually gets the high-value touches, but he keeps getting injured anytime they've been near the goal line, and so Pacheco's been coming in, and I'm worried that they might pull him for that reason. Chirac, let's see. Moore, Higgins, or Noel and flex. I'm going to go Higgins. Really like T. Gives you a lot of upside. Been playing really well with Flacco. Granted, I know it's a small sample size, but Flacco's going to toss that ball. That's for sure. Judkins or Waddle in half. At half, I'm going to go Judkins. The running ability is definitely there. So I trust that a lot more. Finally, the last defense streamer I'll be looking at is the Browns. Outside of that, I really don't like any of the other options. Ravens are right there, but more likely people have kept them. You're welcome. Happy to help. What's up, J Dabber? Start 2. Full PPR. Woof. I think with that, I'm going to go with the upside, and I'm going to go Booty and Pierce because it literally just takes one. I know that Downs is back, so that kind of hurts Pierce. So if you don't want to do that, I'd do Booty and Ingram. Completely understand it. But I struggle to trust Ingram. He hasn't been consistent for me to believe in him. I mean, I guess that's not fair to say. He's been consistent-ish. But in the first 4 games, he scored under 7 fantasy points. And in the past 3, he's been at 13.3, 9.9, 9.2, all in games that they have to throw. So if this game gets out of control and they do have to throw, he'll be solid. The issue becomes I'm worried that the Broncos defense really steps up. So with no Drake London, still go Cousins over. Yes, I do. You're welcome. Happy to help. Bengals over Chiefs too. No, I have them just behind the Chiefs. And of course that's due to Mariota and his ability to kind of turn that ball over. So I trust the Bengals more this week because they're going against Fields without. Also, that's the other thing. Josh Reynolds is also out. So now Fields doesn't have Wilson or Reynolds, and that makes me terrified. You're welcome. Happy to help. Pollard or Tyler Algier? Yeah, about that. I liked what I saw from Pollard the last game, but this is another tough matchup against the Colts. The last time he didn't do so hot, and that was with him having the full job. I think I'd go Algier for that reason. Again, I really think Algier scores, and this is a game that the Falcons should be able to control. All right. Yeah, bye weeks are well, and again, so for the next 3, I think it's 4 teams on bye every week. Ooh, that's a good one. Let me see. Where is Rokon in my rankings? I mean, Smith's been beat up, so I don't have him. I don't have him as high as I normally would. I mean, assuming he plays, I would probably roll out Roquan. Because, like I said, that defense should be back, and this should be a game that they kind of control. And until he got hurt, he was double digits. He had one of his best games in week 2. So, all right, Dan. Let's see. Pacheco, Bourne, Spears, Franklin. I think I'm going to go safe and play Pacheco there. If you want the upside, go play Franklin. Completely understand doing that. Jay Dabroff, can I call up and start over? I don't think I mean, I wouldn't just because we don't know. I mean, with Collins being out, it should be Higgins. Jaden Higgins should be the one who steps up here. And if he doesn't, then, yeah, I would be calling up Noel because if this is a multi-week thing, he has a lot more potential. But I'd much rather just roll with what you have until we know for sure. 1 week isn't enough, especially since Collins played part of that week. Very curious to see how it ends up breaking down now without Collins or Kirk. All right, Will, PPR. Oh, that you're going Mooney there. Juan Isabel, Pacheco, Kincaid, Ioman, or DK. I think at that point I have Kincaid the highest. Yep. Pitts or Mason Taylor, RPSD, I don't like either of them. I'd much rather go play Schultz or Otten or a handful of other players on the waiver wire. But given this, I guess I'd go Taylor. I know it's terrifying, but they don't have Reynolds. They don't have Wilson, and I don't know who else he's going to throw to. I don't remember the guy's name that I had to move up for the Jets. I would say Lazard, but Lazard's also been dealing with injury. Where do I have NYJ? I actually moved up Tyler Johnson or Arian Smith, but I don't love either of those options for you. So I'm hoping goes to Taylor, but he's also not been playing very well at all, so difficult to trust. This will be dependent on if it's PPR or not. If it's PPR, I'd probably go Smith because he is being used a lot in the screen game. But if it's standard, Algier is more likely to score. Lightning, glad to see you made it, man. All right, who should I start? Or sit, my bad. Brown, Olave, Breece Hall, Javonte Williams. Of them, I'm probably going to end up sitting Hall because I'm nervous about that offense in general. It's probably close with Brown. it's really a toss-up between those two. It's hard to sit the other players. J Dabber, you're welcome. Ty, let's see. Just lost London, yeah. Would you put in McLaurin off away? I would probably either play Wandale or Dobbs this week. Tamara, Camara, or White. That's a good one. I'm still going with White since he has the full job. He's been really good with that job this year, and so it's difficult to get away from him. I mean, since he's taken over, I don't think he's hit. I guess last week is his worst week, but dealt in PPR, it's hard to get away from him. D-Man, Spear, some non-guy. At that point, I'd go, if you're having to drop him for him, then I'd rather just go with Spears, but I'm actually probably okay dropping Spears to pick up Monongai. Because I think Bam has one more week of usability. So, David, DK, or Higgins. It's kind of this Spider-Man meme. They're both pointing at each other. I think I'm going to go... I think I want to go DK just because it's a big play, and I have to see it from Stroud and Higgins. I mean, Higgins, we don't know. He saw a uptick when Collins went out last week, but I have to see him take over that slot. His potential is there. I bought in Dynasty, so I want to wait and see. So I'd rather roll with DK this week because I kind of know what that is. All right, Jeff. Potter, Algier. Probably going to go, if it's PPR. Yeah, I still think I go Algier because last time Pollard didn't do super well, and that was when he had the full job against the Colts. And then White, Rico, or D White. Who's D White? Devin White? I don't know. Of the next ones, I'm probably going to go. Actually, I think I have Warren the highest. Yeah, I'd play Warren. Yeah, yo, mama. Picked him Noel from Houston. Really want to play him over Worthy, but yeah, I get it. I don't think I could either. Again, because we don't know what that team is. And now that Collins is out, I'm very curious to see who steps up. I also don't trust Stroud right now. That offense looks completely broken. The only thing I am willing to play is Marks because I know what it is. David, we just went through this. I'm going to go DK because we don't know. Juan Isabel, PPR, Hubbard or Pacheco? I'm going to go Pacheco because I trust it a little more. I wish I could trust Hubbard, but that last game did not give me a whole lot of hope. I do expect the Panthers to continue the hot hand approach, and so I do expect Hubbard to get more run again, but to what that extent is, it's going to be hard to tell. All right, Daniel. Kincaid or Franklin? Again, will be depending on what you meant. It's a lot more upside for Franklin, but Kincaid's been pretty solid for you. You meant D Swift. Oh, okay. At that point, I think I might have Swift the highest. Let me double check. Nope. It's sorry. It's still going to be White. All right, Jared. Pick 2 PPR. Warren, Swift, Dowd, Judkins. It's going to be Judkins and Swift. Oh, Farley. Woof. That's a good one. I still think I have Hurts higher. I do. I have Hurts higher by 3 spots. Mostly because, again, he's more likely to run it in. All right, Ty, let's see. Algier, Chubb, or Monongai? Again, because I think he scores, I'm going to go Algier. That's all you're hoping for out of these 3. And while Monongai had an uptick last week after coming off the bye, I have to see it happen. It makes me way nervous to try and roll somebody out that we don't know what it is. I appreciate it, though. I like that as an option. Currently, I have him as my I have them all right next to each other, actually. I have Monangai among Harvey, Smith, and Gainwell. Gives you an idea of kind of where he is. Woody or Pitts? Marks. I'm taking Marks. Brian, Scattaboo or Flowers? Again, going with what I trust here in Scattaboo. I like the idea of Flowers. I'm just really nervous the fact that it's going to be Huntley that they give it to Henry like they should. Give it to Henry and trust their defense who's back healthy. In theory. They didn't have anybody listed, so I'm assuming everybody's good to go. But you know what assuming does. So, Rob Mo, Dowdle, or Bill? That's a good one. I have Dowdle slightly higher, but I don't like it. But all right, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Going to be back tomorrow with the waiver wire options for you. Back Wednesday doing the long form show. We'll go through the reasons we like players, what we're seeing, go over any questions you have, whether that's trade, start, sit, all of that stuff. Then I help set your lineups on Thursday. Again, I do it 30 minutes before kickoff, and I only go until all the questions are answered. If there's more, great. If there's less, I stop early. So if you're not here on time, you're out of luck. And then Fridays we have our betting show. So, Great Jay, Bourne or Franklin? I trust. I want to say it's Bourne because it's still going to be Jones, but that I'm so nervous because of how that team's been playing. Bourne should be the one they go to. So I want to say Bourne. I also trust that they're going to have to throw more because they don't have a defense. I'm more nervous for Franklin, but Franklin has actually been playing very well and has been running the second most routes behind Sutton. Makes it really iffy. This week also should be a Kittle week, which makes me even more scared of Bourne. So of the options, I probably would go Franklin, but they both have their nicks and cuts that go along with it. Okay, Jared Thompson. Let's see, Judkins, Swift, or Mooney. It's PPR. I'm going to go Mooney and Judkins. I have Judkins currently as my running back 14 and Swift as my running back 19. So not a massive gap, but there is a gap. All right. Also, if you guys are looking for trade questions to be answered, it's for only $10, have roster resolutions available. Just hop on the website, importantnonsense.com, and you'll be able to find it there. You also can join the Discord. It's a lot less expensive, and it doesn't break like Bleacher Nation / Fantasy Life does. So, Higgins, Pittman. Is that a question? Are you wanting one of them? In PPR, I think I have Higgins higher. If I can get it to pull up. And this week, I have Control P. Actually, I have them back to back. I have them at 11 and 12. So I'd go Pittman barely. You're welcome, Bill or Woody. Because I'm assuming this is PPR, I still have Marks higher. Also, the fact that everybody's healthy makes me a little more nervous for Bill this week. Very curious to see. This is going to be a very telling week when we start seeing teams that are more healthy and kind of how that works out. So, very curious to see how this goes. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming. Good luck. If you have any questions, I will stay on just in dead silence for the next minute. Just kidding. You know I can't do that. I wish I could. I'm not talented enough to just sit in silence. But thankfully, I don't see any other big news. I think the big news was the fact that Josh Reynolds quietly went on IR, which was not expecting that because he had just started to kind of show something. And the fact that Wilson had been out made me very interested in him. If you're looking ahead, one of the players I want to probably get is J.J. McCarthy. So, well, Rich, that's the plan. Chargers already won, so I'm happy about this week. We'll just see how it works out. But good luck in week 8. I'm hoping nothing too crazy, and it's tight end week, baby. It's gonna be fun. Tamra, we appreciate you. But all right, well, hope everybody has a wonderful week 8. Good luck and enjoy all the games. And remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense.